Mickey Dickey here, and I've got another video I wanted to talk about with some inconsistencies in the market. It's actually giving some confusion on what's going on there, and I just want to make sure that everybody's getting the right information as it's going on. So this is a video from the Ramsey show, and it's talking about ugly financial storm brewing in America. So I'm going to let her kind of speak, and then I'll give you my interpretation of what's going on here.
There is an ugly storm brewing financially. There are some things going on in the world that is setting us up for some serious financial failure here. It says, as emergency savings drop and credit card debt rises, an ugly stew is brewing, warns an advocate. It says that as high inflation continues and interest rates go up, many people are seeing their savings dwindle and credit card balances increase. It also says as those debts become more expensive, delinquencies may be poised to increase. Not maybe, I'm telling you, they are on the rise. We can look and see that people are defaulting on their credit cards, defaulting on their car loans at higher rates than really the Great Recession. 2008.
Okay, now a couple of things, and you guys have heard me say this on other videos, and I will continue to say this until the end of time. Not to beat a dead horse. I do have an MBA, and my concentration is in stats and finance, so I love numbers. And numbers don't lie, but the way they're interpreted and the way that they're explained can be misleading. And this is exactly what I'm talking about as far as the misleading part of numbers. No point in here, did she ever reference where she got this data from? Okay, so that's the first question. Where is this information coming from that delinquencies are at an all-time high and getting as high as in the financial crisis? So what I want to show you here, and this is why this can be misleading. Now, this is not a complicated deal. I went on Google search. This was like the first or the second one I pulled up, okay, as far as delinquency rates. Now, I'm not a rocket scientist, but here's the delinquency rates from 2009, 2008, the great financial debacle. We're here, nowhere near there. In fact, we're nowhere near the historic norm. Now, again, am I saying that we're in the clear on everything? Not what I'm trying to say here. This isn't the time to sound an alarm that things are a problem. It makes no sense to me what she's talking about. And again, we have people out here that are talking about things that they really shouldn't be talking about. Here she's making it sound like there's this huge financial storm coming. Now, can there be one? Sure. But this sure sect doesn't say it. And I want to know where the data is she's getting to show this, because it's not here. Not only is it not there, take a look at the household debt service. Now again, not a rocket scientist, but this goes back to what, 1980? Look at these numbers, folks. I'm going to scroll this down, and I'm not trying to do it too quick. Again, you can pull this up, and hopefully we'll have a link for this for you. Look at the numbers. Look at both sides of these numbers. There's nothing out of whack here. Now, if you want to say it's out of whack and it's been out of whack since the 1980s, that's great, but here's my problem. If it's been out of whack since the 1980s, how has it hurt us? So again, I'm normally when things are a problem and you need to bring this to attention to people, it's something that's new, something that's changed, something that's different. It can cause a problem. Again, if I've been doing this since 1980, there's no problem here. Not only that, but when you listen to the folks that actually know what's going on, like a Jamie Dimon and Brian Moynihan, here's the CEO, Bank of America, Brian Moynihan, and here's what he says about what she's talking about. Look at this. The consumer remains pristine. Late payments metrics are still below pre-2020. Which again, all we have to do is look back here and know that they're well below everything. Again, I don't want to be up here, but we're not up there. And yeah, we've come up a little bit from the bottom, but all we're doing is coming back to a pre-pandemic norm, which was low to begin with. Folks, what I'm trying to get at here is that when we hear things on, and again, Dave Ramsey says this all the time. Abraham Lincoln said that it's on the internet, it has to be true. Here you go. This is from the Ramsey show, and they're saying there's an ugly financial crisis coming, and they're not giving any data to support it or where it's actually coming from. Now, again, I'm not saying that there aren't some things that could possibly potentially come down the road, but show me the data. I don't know what she was reading off of or where it came from. That would be helpful to know. But even if you are, how about you actually do some research and understand, rather than just saying, we know that it is. We know it's not at 2008 numbers, 2009 numbers. Clearly, it's not there. Yes, this is something to keep an eye on. And as an advisor, these are things that I do keep track of because I'm looking for things that are going to cause problems for my clients' portfolios down the road. And you guys should be looking at for not just your portfolios, but also looking at for your lives and how things are going. Now, keep in mind, and I've said it before, and I'll continue to say this, the economy and the stock market are two different things completely. You have to separate them. Now, that doesn't mean there isn't some overlap, and that doesn't mean that one doesn't wag the other, but they're normally very different from each other. So yes, this might be a scenario where if potentially this uptick just keeps going up forever and a day and it gets up to here, it could be a problem. Sure, maybe possibly could. It's an issue. But why don't we just actually listen to the people who talk every quarter about this stuff? And we don't seem to want to listen to what these guys are saying. When the head of Bank of America comes out, which is, again, it's not Chase, it's not Jamie, but when they come out and tell you that this is the way that it is, why do we not listen to them? I don't get it. These guys are quite clear. The consumer is strong, continuing to spend, everything is good. So I don't understand why we don't want to listen to what these guys are trying to say. We poo-poo it, we push it down, we say that they don't know what they're talking about. If they don't know what they're talking about, why do we have them as a CEO of Bank of America? Why do we have them as a CEO of Chase if Jamie doesn't know what he's talking about? And again, I'm not saying they don't make mistakes now and then, but heaven's sakes, folks, if every single quarter these guys come out and tell us the same stupid story and we're just going to ignore them, why do they come out and talk to us at all? And again, why do we have statistics such as this coming out and if we're just going to ignore it? Makes no sense to me. So if we're going to have videos and people are going to tell you what's going on, let's at least be the truth of it. What's going on here is this. With the pandemic and everything that was going on with the pandemic, yes, we had a lot of borrowing. We had a lot of people coming out of the pandemic go and do a lot of travel, and they're still doing that at this point. And yes, we had pretty much an all-time low in delinquencies and credit card and consumer loans. Okay. And yes, it's starting to tick up. And is it something we should keep an eye on? It is not something that we come on and make a video about and say we have an ugly situation coming down the pike. It's just not true, especially when you have the other data with the household debt service. Again, I don't see where this is something we have to be massively concerned about and have a video about and scare everybody that the world's going to end because we're not going to be able to pay our debt, we're not paying our debt, and everything's up. So basically everything this person just said, other than reading what was off a piece of paper, which again, I don't know whether that's statistics were right, wrong, or indifferent, is not supported by actual data. So let's keep an eye on what's going on. Let's keep things in focus and understand that this could be an issue, and we need to keep that's why we have these companies come out and report every quarter. That's why we have delinquencies sometimes even more often than once a quarter, to see if we can find trends that are a problem. So when I look at this, it does not concern me at the moment. It is something I will continue to keep an eye on, but it is not something to have a problem sleeping at night about or worrying about each night. Dickie out.